Welcome, champions. My name is Margaret, and I'm coming to you live from the Codename Entertainment Studio in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Before we begin, I'd also like to thank D&D for hosting us on the official D&D Twitch channel. It is and always will be an honor to be here. Shout out as well to Erica and Sasha, helping to co-produce and moderate this stream with me. I will be bringing in Dylan in just a second. Suddenly Dylan. Well, Dylan appears. Perfect.
Suddenly here. Hi. Greetings from my cave.
The Dylan cave. It's like the bat cave, but
Yep. Only, slightly fewer bats, slightly more Dylans.
Slightly more Dylans.
Yeah, a little more.
A little more.
Hi, Lauren.
No. At some point,
Hi, Garwar. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. At some point, we'll have to
Hi,
switch.
Aogain. Owen.
No, it's Owen. Aogain.
I can't get that out of my head. I blame Lord of the Rings, like I said. Terrible fantasy book that series that was. I don't know if any of you have read it or heard of it.
Oh yeah, no, it's not worth reading at all.
Nobody's heard of.
No.
Although part of me wonders, like, how many people have seen the films that Peter Jackson made, but never even heard of the books or anything before that? Like, it must be a thing. So.
I also say it's perhaps not the friendliest introduction to fantasy because it's very academic. In a way, it's like
I don't know. It's about short people who like smoking pot, right? Like it's not that hard to get into.
I never thought of it that way.
I mean, they reference Hobbit Leaf a lot in those books, and like not nearly as much in the films as in the books.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that a certain author was like spending a little time. Kicking back some. That's not D&D or video game related.
I thought that was definitely referencing tobacco. So maybe I'm naive. And on that note, yeah. Before we get too far into it, I'm just gonna say yes, we have got some bugs on Steam. We are fixing those as we speak.
Yeah.
Got a patch go out within the past hour, I think. So
it should get a lot of it.
Should get a lot of it. Yeah. So working on that.
Yeah. Sean is
very
plowing
busy
through those tickets as fast as he can. There's a few of them.
C&E Mark has also had a very busy week, so mad props.
Yeah,
too.
I think Mark put in a lot of extra hours actually to just work on bug fixes.
Can we nominate a care package for Mark?
Yeah. Shout outs to Mark and Sean and everybody working on fixing bugs. Because
and shout out to Peter for the Switch launch.
Yeah. We're on Nintendo Switch game
now, which is awesome.
So now I can buy a Switch because I was waiting until we were on Switch before I bought one. It had nothing to do with the availability of Switches.
Which is, if you can find one.
Yeah. I suspect I'll be getting one of the because they have a couple more models coming out this fall, right? I'll probably get one of those.
That's fair.
I don't
know. The one at my house is the special Breath of the Wild edition, which I don't think the Switch is different, but the case is very nice.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. That is the one game on Switch I want to play, other than Idle Champions. But Catherine wants me to get Mario Kart so she can just destroy me at it. And she's been chomping at the bit to play me Mario Kart for a long time because she knows that I'm not that good at it because I don't, never played a lot of Mario Kart. So,
that's me playing Mario Kart just involves a lot of me screaming. I really don't. I'm just like, no.
Yeah. Nintendo's good. Anyways, it's very cool to be launching on it, and surreal.
It's kind of It's Nintendo.
Yeah. I've been playing on Nintendos for a real long time. So. Since Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, whenever that came out. That dates me a bit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
Anywho, does anybody have anything Idle Champions or D&D related to ask? Because otherwise, I'm
Ooh.
going to talk about music again, and I don't know. I got a lot of complaints about that last time.
Okay.
So,
I don't think you got a lot of complaints, but no, there's some of that. But we do have.
got some
Yeah.
feedback.
We got some feedback. Para 13 is saying that I got a lot of chests today, a lot of them for champions I don't have yet. Is it safe to open them, and will I keep the gear for when I get the champions?
You will keep it, but I mean, I think it's a perfectly reasonable thing to hold on to until you have a champion unlocked. So, yeah. So that's specifically like champion chests. So like if it's a Stokey chest, you will definitely get loot for a Stokey. But some chests, like weekend promotion chests, that can include loot for a number of champions, they will give you loot for the ones that you've unlocked. So if you only have 2 of those 3 or 4, or whoever it is, unlocked, you'll be limiting who you can get loot for. So, yeah.
No.
But gold chests, super safe.
Gold chests, super safe. And event chests, well, for if they're chest specific for the champion, then you can open them to see what's inside them, but it'll be gear for that specific champion without them unlocked.
Yeah.
Omnic Sage is asking for the best variant or free play to wall push in Waterdeep. I'm not sure. It's honestly, it's been a while since I've played our Waterdeep campaign because I've been caught up in events, and then I've been working on the Barovia campaign. And I was like, this came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go back into the Waterdeep campaign. So Dylan might know more about that.
I usually use one of the first ones that has relatively easy encounters, because some of them, the boss fights get a little bit more difficult to deal with and just don't make it great for pushing. So yeah, I usually use the first adventure. I think the one where Vajra is summoning you. I can't remember the name. Right? Mysterious Summons, I think it's called.
Mysterious Summons? Okay. Speed.
Yeah, I think that's the one I use. I'm just going to pull up my game and look. I think that's the one. Yeah, because there's no majorly difficult encounters. Most of the enemies are humanoids. It's kind of just relatively straightforward.
That's fair. No. Sage.
That's Mysterious Summons. That's the one.
Mysterious Summons? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing the Sober Up variant because I haven't done it yet, and I really enjoyed the art because the pink elephants, hallucination elephants, are adorable.
Yeah, that's an interesting reference for us to go with, I think.
Yeah. But it's lovely, and it's cute, and we can pretend to be naive about it.
I just think about, like, do you remember what it was like when you were a kid watching Dumbo?
Yes.
Like, for the first time? And, like, now being an adult, I don't remember drinking ever being that bad. But it's like this like crazy hallucinogenic journey for an elephant in that one, and it's just so weird. Anyways, pink elephants.
Pink elephants. Yeah. I just remember being afraid of Dumbo when I was like, not of Dumbo the character, but something in the movie made me really scared when I was watching it when I was really, really little, and that's all I can remember. Well,
drugs are bad, so there's that. Honestly, other than that, I don't really remember what happens in it. He flies. It's been a while. I'm old, but yeah, I do remember getting profoundly upset at Bambi. Yeah, that was traumatizing. But I didn't watch Watership Down when I was so young that it could have traumatized me. With like the horrible, bloody bunny murder. Because what the hell? Anyways.
Yeah. Got some more questions.
Shoot.
Sage Gentleman is asking if Calliope's Song of Protection was fixed, and if it's not fixed now, it will be fixed soon. I'm not sure what went out in the last update, but it's definitely something we're fixing. So.
And you can try to look up when it went out in the last update, because I can just pull up the patch notes.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I remember the patch going out as I was prepping for the stream. Torontonian has an Idle Champions D&D questions for us. If you could add any D&D character, any world from any media, who would each of you add?
Anybody into this?
Yeah.
Into the game? Oh,
I know. It's daunting.
That's super broad. Yeah, like, do I pick a fantasy character or do I pick a sci-fi? Like, what kind of character do I pick? Because that's such a giant question. Like, do I just want Boba Fett in there because, or, just a character that I like? Maybe Aberdolf Linkler from Rick and Morty. I don't know if you're familiar with that character.
No, not.
He's a genetic hybrid between Adolf Hitler and Abraham Lincoln, who basically wants to violently emancipate the slaves.
There we go. It's clicked.
Yeah.
Yep, that one.
It was super weird.
I would say Ela Atreides from Dune. That could be a fun addition.
Oh, Paul's younger sister. Interesting choice. Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Yeah. Somebody who has all that intelligence and ability right from the get-go, and so they're like the creepiest little kid ever.
Exactly. It's lovely. It's like the all-knowing child.
Yeah, super freaky.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you should have told us you were pregnant with Jessica, and she's like,
I didn't think that I had to. And they're like, what have you done? Yeah. And you know what? It's like, even though there's a crazy all-star cast for the next Dune movie that's coming, I haven't seen anything about whether or not her role's even been cast. I would assume it has been.
Ela?
But last I checked, I couldn't find anything about who was playing her.
Ela Dune 2020. I can't see anything.
Alrighty, what do we got on IMDb? Cast.
Minus. I'm pretty happy with the cast.
Listed.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the casting so far, but
the casting is amazing. That is the casting is, I mean, obviously Villeneuve has kind of reached a point that a lot of really high profile directors like Christopher Nolan and such are at. Like, anybody they ask is going to say yes to being in their movie, because they consistently make fantastic films that so yeah, because we still haven't seen what any of the Harkonnen or however we want to say it, how any of the Harkonnen people are going to look aesthetically,
which I just hope it's better than the 80s one.
Well, I don't think that's hard. I mean, fat suits have come a long ways.
There's a bar.
Yeah. But Stellan Skarsgård is an amazing actor, so.
So Supply 215 is asking, who is responsible for the fight with the doppelganger that made the doppelganger so awesome? Changing your champion to 2 champs if you do the variant. And what's the
who was responsible for it?
Yeah.
That's a good question. My obviously it's a team effort, but my guess would be Mark.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, that would be our awesome dev team, and we'll just give the whole dev team props for that because they work hard and they do a lot.
Yeah, they do a lot. Yeah, I'm getting some feedback on that it was Mark. So mad props to Mark. Mark is the MVP this week. Baby Illy G 2000 is saying that they won't ask about Star Wars TV, but they're if I decide to start playing this game on PlayStation, can I still play the game on PC as well? You can have 2 accounts, but unfortunately we do not have cross-platform functionality at the moment. So if you want to start another account, absolutely. There are some people with multiple accounts, but unfortunately we do not have. It doesn't transfer over at the moment.
So as Sir Crimson Fox is like, another Dune movie? It's like, the last Dune movie was in like the early 80s by David Lynch, right? Like,
wasn't there something
it left
in the
a
2000s?
really bad impression. There was, so the Sci-Fi Channel did a Dune miniseries for both Dune and Children of Dune. And like it had James McAvoy playing Leto Atreides, the eventual God Emperor in the miniseries. But like, they covered the majority of the plot points of the books, but like it was so low budget, and you could tell it was low budget all the way through, that it was just kind of disappointing for people. But that's basically, it's only been adapted twice in, you know, the 50 years, 60 years since the book came out.
It's a really good book.
Yeah, 80s Dune. Sting was the creepiest man alive in that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked Sting's blue winged Speedo. It's so ridiculous. It's so 80s. And he just kind of comes out and he's super arrogant and looks like Sting. I don't know. It has its charm, I guess. Like, I have a soft spot in my heart for that terrible movie that is unlike any other David Lynch movie, because you actually understand it. So, you know.
It's very much a product of its time.
Yeah.
Which is what I
and also, like, in retrospect, like, how is it that any studio thought that David Lynch, you know, director of, at that point, what, like maybe Naked Lunch and The Elephant Man or something at that point, like, this guy should direct the biggest sci-fi space opera of all time. Like, it just seems like a weird choice. You know, and that documentary Jodorowsky's Dune was amazing. I don't know if you've caught that, but just a crazy person almost made Dune, and their ambition was beyond anything I could even imagine.
Okay, Rom is saying that Dune was awesome, and I say I absolutely love the book, books in general, but specifically the Dune book, to the point that I have a Dune tattoo. So it's not against my love for Dune. It's just that movie was 80s. So, yeah.
I mean, the sandworms are made out of condoms. Come on. Not to ruin that for anybody, but like the movie magic. I still enjoy parts of it, but like I tried to watch it recently, and I was watching it for a few minutes. I'm like, I wonder why they made any of these choices. You know, it's just so weird. The Beetlejuice had the superior sandworm. It certainly had a scarier one. The ones in the Dune movie were just kind of, I don't know, they weren't tangible in the, like, they didn't feel enough like the way that they do in the book. In the book, they're like godly.
And they're like, they're like, if an army shows up with those,
the worm's just like boom, destroys it all.
Yeah.
So I'm insanely, I hope that movie still comes out this year. Even.
Yeah. You and me both.
I love sci-fi movies. I'm glad we're once again in an era where you can go and see a science fiction film in the theater, and it's like effort has been put into it. And you know, the possibly the best living science fiction director is the one making it. Certainly one of them. Yeah. Played the Dune board game. No,
I haven't.
No, I haven't.
I didn't.
I've played all the RTS games that Westwood Studios put out, to mixed acclaim, I guess you could say. I haven't played the board game.
Oh. They just reprinted the Dune game. That's good to know.
Yeah, I heard that. But I still don't know much about it.
Eric, I want to go half season on it.
I've played a lot of board games lately, actually. Now that I think about it. Like, kind of in a socially distant...
But you can play online.
Playing video games with people.
I will play board games with you online.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Red Room also has an account on our site that we both use.
Oh, really?
Yep. We could have, like, office board games. But...
Okay. We should do that.
Remember we brought it up and you're like, no, both of you are probably extremely cutthroat.
Oh, I have no doubt that you are. Are you kidding? I know what it's like to play with people who are smarter than me. It's awful.
No, Sean, it's Board Game Arena, but we should maybe start setting up our Codename circle for it. So that'd be great.
I'm still getting used to DMing for 2D games a week from home. It's kind of, I mean, I like it. I like being able to, because it's such a great excuse to reconnect with friends and like hang out with them, kind of. But it's definitely not the same as, you know, being at their home or at your home and like having a barbecue and then playing D&D, and you know, it's some of the community part is a little bit lost, but it's still very fun to be able to play with each other.
Yes. And it's like, I don't know. I did a lot of D&D online before because I used it as a way to keep in touch with people who live in different cities. So it's sort of like, it hasn't really changed for me for that.
Yep.
But, yeah. Well, got some more questions. Glacier is asking, is there any game mechanic that players have come up with that you haven't thought of before besides the Azaka farm? And do we...
like commonly used mechanics?
Yes.
So it's happened a few times when it was unexpected, basically. So one of the ones that was unexpected that happened early on was when Barrowin was first launched, her hammer stacking ability was very exploitable.
Right.
To the tune of absolutely breaking the game. Players getting 1,000 areas further than they're supposed to, kind of stuff, because they could stack it up to infinite damage. And so that was both unintended and unexpected. And we're like, oh, okay, because like bench stacking had never crossed our minds yet. The idea of dropping a character onto the bench, because bringing them back to get the hammer stack and then putting them back and forth, and just basically at that time building up Strix's fireball to some obscene level, going to the furthest area, letting everything pile up, and then popping all the enemies in one go. So that was interesting. Was that you, Garwar? I can't remember. I don't know who did that first.
Yes, he's like, you're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really unexpected. Azaka farming as well. The Artemis shield tanking one is another unexpected one, not because it wasn't an interaction that we had planned for. No,
it's not something we had planned for, but it's not really.
But it also doesn't bother us.
No,
kind of like that one.
And a follow up on Azaka farming, like we have no intentions to touch Azaka at this time, and if we did, we would have
currently planning on it.
We would have done so in the year 1, part 2 balance. So
yeah. Silisa did Barrowin. Yeah, I thought it was Silisa, but because Silisa sent us the first, at that time, like a long email explaining in detail with screenshots how to do it, and it was like the first week back after the Christmas holiday and New Year's Eve, and like we're like reading it first thing, it's like, oh shit, this has been going on for a week and a half. We should do something about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was so good. That was unexpected. So that was players finding things. I mean, you can't really outthink the hive mind. Like,
no,
there are way more people playing the game than making it, and so
yeah.
I mean, we have some pretty smart folks
team
working for us, but there's no shortage of creativity on the player end in terms of coming up with stuff that we hadn't thought of. Like, even just on the Azaka farming thing, it's such a deep thing, right? Like, never mind like basic Azaka farming, like the way that it gets iterated on, it's like, well, now we bring in Jim to turn them into a mimic or whatever.
Yeah, and then wait until
it just kind of keeps going. It's interesting,
and then it's the way it works in most games, as Christo at Twitch says, and it's great. It's really fun to see the ingenuity that the community has.
Yeah.
There were some that we had to shut down pretty quick. I'm thinking Krull Pilfer Stacks. That was game breaking, but a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I still have obscene favor in my game because I'm like, how broken is this? And like 5 minutes later, I'm like, holy crap, this is really broken.
Guys.
Yeah, I have a lot more favor than I need ever. Well, for probably the next couple of years, anyways. Yeah, that was interesting. That's good. I mean, that's what happens when you just keep adding variables and layers of complexity onto something, right? You eventually get to some unintended interactions, and
Nomad84 has a question. Not sure if we're talking about more details about the bugs and whatnot from the last few days, but can I ask if the 64-bit build release was intentional and they're hyped for a 64-bit edition soon?
That's a good question. I never did follow up on that personally, because Sean handles so much more of these things now than either myself or probably even Margaret, that we're like less in the loop about those questions than we used to be. It's one of those things
Yeah.
that was easy to be in the loop for when we were all in one office.
And I'm just getting ping from Sean because Sean is omnipresent and says that it was not intentional. So sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, because it's not even the first time it's unintentionally happened.
No, it's a button
kind
that
of
sometimes gets hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I play a soulless
Yeah.
account. I play
Wait.
fully guard. I don't know what any of that means.
Namaraz does. Why is it that hero stats don't measure up to source materials or the original games they came from? For example, Baldur's Gate. And
So that's a kind of a multi-point question.
Yeah.
And so I'll answer it in a couple points. One, so, and we've said this a bunch of times, but like we tend to pick a snapshot of a character in most cases. So it's like, this is so-and-so from this very specific instance, right? Like, because if we were trying to be really up to date on the Companions of the Hall, spoiler, a bunch of them have died. And been being reborn as completely different characters, and we went very specifically with the original Companions of the Hall, and like with Artemis and Trary, we went very specifically with an Artemis and Trary that was, from the first couple books, like the one that first appeared in the Crystal Shard. It's like this is an Artemis and Trary from that time. So that's part of it. Like we don't, because a number of these characters have had many iterations in official source materials over the years, and like we tended to pick just one specific sheet. So for like the Companions of the Hall, in most cases we were given a stat sheet for them, but it might have been a 4E or a 2E or whatever for a particular character. And then on top of that, some champions have crazy bonkers high stats in the material that was given to us.
Absolutely.
A very good example would be Evelyn, who the last time I saw in an AI game, like she's rocking 20 plus in multiple stats, and is just like, she is a stat powerhouse at this point because of narrative. And in order to be a little bit more balanced, that was reined in the game. So sometimes we make adjustments for that too.
That's that. Oh, and apparently, according to Death, my DPS is tanking. Yep.
Oh, is it? I actually have not at all looked at your screen. That's a strange formation you got there.
You always say that to me. You always say that. You're like, what are you doing?
No. I was just like, you use champions I don't use. So.
Oh, yeah. We do use different champions.
I see your pink elephants.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. It's working so far. Just playing with something new.
Yeah. I was never able to find a Havilar formation that I liked. More so in I found ways to use her a bit in the Descent into Avernus campaign.
More so in Avernus, but yeah.
Turiel and Havilar actually get used in my Avernus campaign.
Yeah, but Birdsong's not hitting Cadibri, so which is the issue right now. It's like
I see.
There. That works much better.
Huh. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway.
Questions?
Dark Geo. When using Birdsong, which specialization should I choose, or the one that I have most of, or the one that busts my DPS?
I mean that it kind of is Birdsong your DPS. If so, then it's like you're picking neutral and God, what is even the name of it? The one that increases Birdsong's DPS a whole bunch.
Soloist. Soloist.
That sounds right.
Because I'm
like the one on the left.
Yeah,
where my brain went.
It's Soloist. It's Corchetto's the one that's more the support one.
Yeah, and so that's kind of, I just vary Birdsong based on whichever.
Yeah, and then if you're using someone else as your DPS, then changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in your formation you could switch Cadibri and Celeste, you're already doing it. I was going to say that, and then she would have been in Birdsong range, but you've already moved with Birdsong.
But I thought you were Birdsong, so but numbers go up. So always fun.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho.
So yes,
see Sean.
Birdsong. Everyone now has Peruvian Witch Birdsong, so that's very exciting. And Birdsong is our selected coloring sheet this week, so that'll hopefully get Birdsong nicely geared up for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So some gear to go with her.
I've always been a fan of Birdsong's design. It's one of our, it's a year one champion, and just felt useful right from the get-go, was integral for a while, for a lot of formations, is the reason that we were able to, is the reason that players were even able to get through the Azaka's Procession Part 2 when it launched. But also just I think it's a fun design, attacks fast.
Fun design. It's cool to have Tabaxi, since they're not always represented as much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't think of any named Tabaxi characters off the top of my head. Bag of Nails, I guess, is it. Yeah.
Where are we now? Crazy Captain Matt, given the thought to reining in some of the stats, what would be the average level of the champions?
So when we build champions now, we tend to, if we're building their stat sheet, build them as if they're level 8.
Level 8? Okay.
Yeah. Level 8 with leaning more towards rolls than point buy. We're just, we're not aiming for characters in their mid-high teens in terms of ability scores and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I actually made some D&D Beyond character sheets for a number of our champions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. First of all, there's a Warden one that I actually ended up sharing in the Warden Spotlight, and it should still be live. I haven't deleted it, so it's still there. And I made Warden at level 12.
As you did.
But that was before we'd had a targeted level range for it. It was just that was when Warden was being designed. But I have a few other ones that are for something unannounced.
Yeah. Right.
But just so that they have character sheets.
I remember that.
Just so they have character sheets for no reason.
That would be fun to...
No reason at all.
It might be fun to add with our encounters if we released Idle Champions character sheets for
That's a good idea.
That could be a lot of fun.
Would that be something that interests people if we released, character sheets with the encounters? Because we could do that. Echo Knights. Oh, I would love an Echo Knight. That's such a cool design, but there won't be any Echo Knights in the game most likely.
And Demon Black is asking, I'm sure it's been mentioned, but when is the Switch release? Today!
Yeah.
Very exciting.
We're a Switch game now.
Switch launch. It happened.
I don't think we're a page one Switch game because a bunch of games came out on Switch today, and a number lately. But you should be able to find us on Switch now.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about that.
It seems that we have a bunch of support for the character sheets idea, so that could be really fun.
Okay.
Especially the C&E originals.
The only ones that we probably can release are the C&E originals because all the other ones, the ones with content creators, they have official sheets through their own sources. And then, we don't speak for D&D, so all the lore-based ones would have to be held back. But we can make the ones for all of our originals. Sure, yeah. And then if somebody wants to play one, they can. Although the adventures we've released for Idle Champions Presents Encounters are all
level 1. Yeah,
none of them are level 8 adventures. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Maybe we'll build into level 8s eventually. Dancing Penguins is asking between Turiel, Walnut, and Ishii who would be best for a time gate.
That really depends on what you need.
Yeah.
Of them, Walnut is by far the most played.
Yeah. Another tank's always great, and Turiel's fun as well.
Turiel is more this is a great character to have when you're doing Descent into Avernus stuff.
Because he pushes everyone else towards your other tanks.
Yeah, and I like Turiel's design because if you have a 2-tank formation, you basically have a 1-tank formation where all the enemies definitely hit that 1 tank, which can be really helpful. So Turiel has his uses, but it's a competitive slot for supports in slot 1. Bruner's there, and Deacon's there, and Cathris is there, and they're all very viable. Whereas Walnut is very, very strong, and is strong in their slots. So, highly recommend
awesome.
Walnut.
Awesome. Walnut's great.
And I'm a huge fan of Ishii as a character and as a design, like the design and everything about them, but they're just not quite as good right now as some of the other slot 4 options.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should unlock everybody eventually.
Yes,
but
yeah, it also depends on like what holes do you have in your roster. Like, could you use another tank?
Mm-hmm.
Not so much.
Yeah, Sentry's really strong in slot 4. Paulton's really strong in slot 4. Jarlaxle is actually pretty good in slot 4. So, yeah. Stokey. Big Stokey fan.
I've been using a lot of the Companions of the Hall recently. Really like their...
Yeah.
Classic.
I dumped all my contracts into Artemis, so I used some of the Companions of the Hall, but only to make Artemis better.
Well, but that's kind of fitting. And Yeah. Ragnar is asking, thanks for the new Dragon Heist adventures. Will we be using all of those dungeon levels in the future?
You mean like the levels of Undermountain?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do all like 26 levels or whatever it is. Because
that's many. But I do know that there's also potentially a Dragon Heist Part 9 or Dragon Heist Part 10.
Yeah, it is gearing towards something that players are excited about, whether they know it or not.
Some of them know.
Yeah.
2 Sips Gyms. Has it been decided at CNE if there will ever come a time after many years where no more new champions are introduced, or can the team see this game reaching 100 plus champs?
I mean, I could see us reaching 100 plus champions. I mean, we would love to continue making this game for as long as we can.
Yes, 100%.
So, if that means that we don't finish for another 10 years, then we don't finish for another 10 years.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and I don't want to think of how old I am in 10 years, but...
No, let's just not think about that. But
But certainly not planning on slowing down the development of Champions of the Game.
Zeke 640, what is your plan for characters who are being added that are homebrew classes? I'm thinking specifically about Lucius, who is an arcane chromat sorcerer, which is a homebrew subclass by Mark Holmes.
That's a good question. There's a couple parts to it in that... So when we put something into the game, we put it as close to established 5e as possible.
Yes.
So in that case, like we adapted Sentry, who is a homebrew race, for the High Rollers Arrowist campaign, and we made Sentry a Warforged because that's kind of how it had to be. And same thing with Ayla. Ayla is a different type of elf. It's a wild elf, I think, in Arrowist, or a wood elf, or I don't know, another kind of elf than currently exists in 5e, and so we made a slight shift. And so that's kind of just how we approach it.
And also Krillic
Storm Elf
has different arms situation.
Yeah, so spoiler: Nova and Lucius will eventually join the game. One of them sooner than the other. But
isn't Ayla still a wild elf in Champions though?
She's a wild elf in Champions. So so what is she on Arrowist? Because I know I very much remember we had to change it, or I'm crazy.
Both.
Yeah, but so when we get to Lucius, there will be some minor adjusting to make him fit into the game.
Yes,
but
we will work with.
Yeah, we'll work with Trotimus on that. So
we don't. We don't, to take over and streamline. I'm not sure what I'm going with here. Railroad people's characters. There we go.
Yeah. No, we'll make sure that Chris is happy with the transition. But yeah, it's just a 5e Forgotten Realms thing. So the homebrew stuff tends to get adjusted ever so slightly to fit into the game.
Yes. Which is lovely.
Now, when I talked to Eric, he said that I should talk about Led Zeppelin.
You should talk about Led Zeppelin, right?
Yeah. Now, and I think it's because I had talked a bunch about Metallica last week. Not intentionally,
and then you said Judas Priest was going to be the subject
I'm like,
today.
Judas Priest this week, and that was a joke. But Eric was like, "Oh, no, why not Led Zeppelin?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine.
Can we? I suppose we could go there."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what do I know about Led Zeppelin other than they make good music?
They make good music. They're cool.
Yeah, made good music. I guess they're not really making anything anymore.
I don't know what timeline are we in. What timeline are we in?
Well, so remember, it was just a few years ago now that they did that anniversary show in the UK where like they played one show, and they had John Bonham's son playing drums, and like the show was basically for celebrities because they're the only ones that had tickets for the most part. And I remember there's a news article here in Victoria from a guy who spent $20,000 to go.
Right.
That's what it cost him to get tickets and get over there and back.
That's some money.
And the people on the news are like, "Oh my God, that's so much money!" Like, wow. He's like, like, when are they going to play again? Which was probably correct because they're probably not going to, as a group ever again. The chances are real slim. So, I mean, it's his money ultimately, but you kind of. I always get Led Zeppelin mixed with Pink Floyd. Mars. I'm so tempted to just banhammer you for that. That's so brutal.
No, you can't. No.
I'm not going to banhammer. I'm kidding. I'm mostly kidding. No. But seriously, Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd.
Really?
Oh.
Do you listen to either?
Oh no. Oh man.
Yeah.
I think I just became depressed. I think that's what just happened to me.
Crazy Matt Captain is asking, "What's your hat today?"
Oh, this is a Taldore Republic hat, snapback hat from the Critical Role store.
Right, Sean is very jealous.
Sean wants this hat. He has yet to purchase one. I'm sure he'll get around to it.
Yeah, wonder if he got one for his birthday.
Did he get one for his birthday?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I remember him saying that his girlfriend banned him from buying anything for a while.
That's fair. That's actually really fair because, no, I get that. So he doesn't have one yet? Oh,
no.
Sean.
Yeah. So sad.
Well, anyways, when they did their merch announcement, because I've been waiting to get a Not the Greatest Detective Agency shirt for a while because Catherine wanted one. And so when they made their announcement, I checked. I'm like, "Oh, is the Not the Greatest Detective Agency shirt there?" Yes. I'm like, "Sweet, I'll get that in the hat." And I'm like, nice. "Ooh, Caleb's shirt's really nice." And so, yeah.
And so add to cart.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm gonna make the order and pay all that shipping, I'm gonna get a few things. So.
No, it makes perfect sense. But, apparently we've got a
Caleb,
couple.
Home is where the heart is shirt in German. I'm wearing the Cantrip shirt.
Cantrip. And we've got some other people in chat who are wearing the same shirt. There's a lot of Cantrip in the office too.
You know what? Like, I mean, it's like tasteful, stylish nerd attire, I guess.
Oh yeah. No, like I texted Erin a list from the C&E booth. It's like, can you please put aside for us this, and this for PAX East, which was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Plus, at the same time, we get to support people that we've worked with that we like.
And they have cool stuff. So.
You got a hole in your Vecna shirt? Oh man, Death Save shirts are pricey.
Yeah.
But back to Mars confusing Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
So you need to listen to Dark Side of the Moon, and you need to listen to it enough that you go crazy.
Look at my
really it.
Beats. I don't think I have.
But yeah. Oh man.
No, I just have all damage on Celeste right now.
I saw somebody talking about Rob Halford in the chat. Rob Halford is capable of some pretty amazing vocals. Like, I wouldn't say Judas Priest is my favorite. I do like some of their music, but that guy's got pipes. He can belt it out for sure. And I caught them live once, and he had a fever and still played. They still played, and he still hit those freaking notes. Like, holy crap!
That's insane.
Yeah, he can hit some really high notes, and he's got some range. Yeah.
I heard David Bowie was amazing live, but unfortunately,
I never saw him. I would like to.
No.
Yeah. And I missed Prince when Prince came here, thinking I'm like, Prince is young. Whoops.
Yeah, I feel like, was it 2018 was like, we need to stick everyone from the 80s into a vault because they were popping off. Like,
yeah, well, like, David Bowie passes. That sucks. I mean, he'd been a music icon for how long? And then, Prince and Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell's the one that upset me as somebody who grew up with grunge and, it's just, that one still kind of bugs me, actually, because I still listen to a lot of Soundgarden and other stuff that he worked on. Nuckin Futz is still talking about Roy Halford. 7+ octave range. Yeah, that's some range.
I need to switch up my formation a little bit, so I'm going to go do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting overwhelmed by pink elephants. Your characters are drunk.
I mean, Thursday problems? What day is it anyway? I only know it's Thursday because I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Maybe let's toss in someone else and level them.
Do you not just dump familiars on your champions to keep leveling them?
Yes, but I want to get them through all their upgrades first because I do it through upgrades as opposed to through.
Slipfully 215. Has anybody watched The Magicians? They had some good music, and they covered the Queen Bowie song in a musical episode. I have watched all The Magicians. It peaked with the 4th season finale, and it was canceled too soon because that closure was a little. You could tell that it was canceled and not intentionally ending with the episode that they ended on. But that was a show where it started, and I didn't really like it, and I kind of hated all the characters because they're just obnoxious hipsters. But they developed into really, really multifaceted, interesting characters as the show went on. And that 4th season finale was heartbreaking. Utterly, just destroyed me when I watched it. And they did 3 or 4 musical episodes, and they were almost all good. The characters are assholes that made the character. I mean, they're jerks. They're super self-involved jerks to start, but they grow as people over the course of the series, and it gets really good. But where it started, I was like, I don't know about this. But I'm glad I stuck it out because certainly the 2nd season, 3rd season, 4th season were really, really fantastic and went way past the books that they were based on. And you want the guy who plays Elliot to play David Bowie?
That could be fun.
Maybe. I thought it was fascinating that of all the actors on that show, one of them was very obviously classically trained to be a Broadway performer, and none of the rest of them were. And so they minimized how much she performed in the musical episodes because of how brutally she outshined everybody. Because it was almost like it was unfair. But I was also impressed that they were actually pretty good.
Garwar is telling me to use a bounty contract. I will use 4.
Yeah, get some gold, buy some upgrades.
I have pretty low favor and helm because I.
Yeah. Open some chests.
No, there's a. Okay, fine. I will open some chests.
But you could open some chests too.
Fine. What would you like me to open?
I mean, what do you? You've got so many chests. How about?
I will open. Well, no, I'm not gonna open. Cool.
Maybe 100 of your supply chests.
Fine. Open 100 supply chests. Just for you, Dylan. Just for you and everybody.
Those are silver.
Watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom.
There we go.
Of course, you can't get feats from that, but
no. I will also open. You know, I was trying to save them up back to like 1,000 because I like to
Back
have
to
them.
1,000.
But I will open some gold chests for you, just for you. I have hoarding problems.
Yeah, the guy
There
who
you
played Elliot, God, what's his name? I feel
Actually,
I'm too visual of a person, and I'm terrible with names.
what's my RNG today? It's like, do I have streaming RNG? No.
Is this something?
Sean
Hale?
hasn't hit the button. Sean, please prep the button. I'm
Yeah, it's
asking
Hale.
you
Hale is
to
his name.
prep
Okay, I did
the
get that. Yeah,
button.
the guy who plays Elliot, because he was one of those like background characters for the first season, and like gradually became more and more of a front and center character. Because
Sean?
Elliot and Margot were what kept me in that show. They're great. Margot especially.
Sean,
What an awesome character.
Can you prep the button, please?
So many
The
chests.
button, Sean. The button.
God, that's so much stuff. Are you opening all of them?
I'll open to 700 and then see if I get any shinier feats. And I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah. Sean did not turn on the button for me. Yeah. Like, Sean's like, no.
Any feats?
No feats, no shinies.
What?
I know. Happens.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I opened 50 chests, I got 2 or 3 feats, so...
Well then,
Guess it all
Sean
evens
turned
out.
on the button for you.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
Oh, man. Oh.
I'm actually curious at this point, how many do I have to open to hit a feat? This
is weird.
Should I get like the anti button? This is all right. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna check. I don't think I have them all, so.
You should check your champions to see if you actually just have all the feats already.
Maybe. But I don't think everyone wants to see me go through my champions one by one. Could write a ticket. Yeah. But I could have all the chest
feats. Write a ticket. Yeah, write a ticket for Sean and be like, "Hey, I'm missing some feats. Can you give me 700 gold chests?"
Yes, please. No, it's like, yeah.
Oh man. Anywho.
No, like. Oh, okay. Well, I have most of those. Yeah. I'm really bad about resetting my feeds, so I'm like, which one I want to do. Anyway, that was a tangent. Oh. Yeah. No shinies either, though.
Well, yeah, no, but every once in a while somebody will do something like Mars open 2 shinies in one stream, right? Like this is weird. Yeah. Something like season 5. Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a lot of the chest feeds though. So
season 5 was okay. Like I wanted more because I needed more closure than the season 4 finale gave me. But it was, I don't know, it was just kind of a ho-hum season. That's all. Like I was just hoping for something a little better. And was a little disappointed in a lot of what happened over the course of the season. It was just, I don't know. It's all right.
All right. So we have some more questions.
Shoot, please. I'm just meandering here, talking about nothing.
Gladio Stricto, what's the internal response when you release a new character and Silista has some great but scathing questions about the design?
I mean, so all feedback is valid, and we certainly read all the character reviews. And if anything, we kind of wish that more players would write them from their perspective, because, you know, Silisa is very knowledgeable about the game and has been playing it for a long time and writes excellent reviews, but also has their own distinct perspective, their own gear levels and way of looking at the game. And, like, you know, we can tell from chat on the Discord, chat on the forums, that, like, not everybody sees it all quite the same way. And so what we would like to see would be more varied perspectives on how they feel about a character. Yeah, because, like, you know, sometimes we don't agree with the review, and sometimes we do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a nice barometer to know if we got roughly close to the mark that we were aiming to. Like, you know, we're like, is this character going to be overpowered when we hit the button? And then, like, the review is like, oh, 10 out of 10 for these reasons. Like, oh, whoops. You know, because you shouldn't really be aiming for a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, so yeah, like, we like them, and we do read them. I don't think Krydle got the fairest shake, but Krydle's in a very competitive slot.
That's true.
And with some just straight up, like, staple favorite champions to switch with, which makes it tough on him. But, like, you know, there's a number of characters in every slot now, so everybody's got their favorites. So there's that too.
There's that. There's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, it's something that, like, I think it's worth saying that we don't aim for a 10 out of 10.
No. I think Dylan, thinks that, like, aiming for between a 6 and an 8, somewhere in there. Like, I'm not just saying 7, but, like, in that range, seems like it's a good mark, in that we want a champion to feel like they can be useful to you as soon as you get them.
Yes.
In some way. And so sometimes we make a character too niche, in which case, you know, they'll get a lower score, they'll be less played, or we'll make them slightly too good. Like, you know, I personally think that Briv is a little too awesome, because he can do too many different things, and he can do all of them pretty darn well. So yeah, it's kind of, and it's also it's a hard thing too, right? Like,
there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, you're trying to make characters, like, you're trying not to use any of the slots from that event or from the events before and after, which limits where you can put things. We're trying to adhere to a like an overarching schedule of when things are coming to the game and how they're developed and all that stuff. And so, like, you know,
there was a lot of angst about some champions not qualifying for both patrons when we were gearing up to put in Strahd. And it's like, this will make sense.
Yep.
In a bit.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, like, okay, we're going to, you know, do a little bit more intelligence-based stuff to make sure that there's, you know, just trying to make sure that we have more champions available for patron variants. And yeah, it's just like, it's a complex thing. What can I say?
No.
Yeah. Anyways, so, like, I like Krydle. I will use him sometimes. But I'm kind of like that, like, we don't want every character that comes out for you to feel like, oh, I need to have them in my formation all the time.
Yes. We like options.
Yeah. We want people to have...
Options are great.
Options and choices.
The Tuco asks, when the 6th edition eventually comes out, will the champions be updated to match?
Oh, 6C?
6C?
That's an interesting question. So, for starters, like, we don't speak on behalf of Wizards of the Coast or D&D. Like, I know we're on the D&D Twitch, but that is their thing. So I can only speak from Dylan's perspective, in that I would be surprised to see a 6E at the same cadence that they have previously released new editions, given that for the first time ever, D&D has absolutely exploded in popularity in a way that it never has.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's had an ebb and flow of, like, when it becomes popular and less popular and stuff.
You don't have to hide that you're playing D&D now.
Yeah, in the 40 plus years of D&D, it has never gone mainstream the way that it has right now. Like, not even close to this. It's, you know, you look at the success of Critical Role. You look at the fact that, like, Joe Manganiello is getting, you know, articles in Variety talking about him playing D&D. You know, And like, sure, people just want to talk about something in the news other than the pandemic, but
still, it's like
the way that it's blown up, I would not at all be surprised to see a 5.5 or something, like, you know, having a bunch of erratas for the core books and stuff at some point, that kind of thing. But I'd be very surprised if they went to a 6E anytime soon, because they just brought in more players than they've ever had. And as Don't Mind Me points out, and a few other CD88, like, you don't want to alienate players you just brought in by releasing another different edition of D&D. Like, 5E is more balanced between role-playing and turn-based combat strategy than I think it has been in other editions.
What chains what's not broken?
You know, like, and I'm not knocking the other ones. Like, I've had a lot of fun playing other editions of D&D, but there's just so many more people playing it now. So I would be really surprised personally if they decided to release a new edition of D&D in the next 5 years. But maybe they will. I don't know. I mean,
maybe. We don't know.
Yeah.
Crystal at Twitch is asking, all right, because of Led Zeppelin and Stairway to Heaven, are there plans for more ASMR?
ASMR. Oh,
there's
man.
been more
because we only got the one.
Yeah, we only got one. I don't think we
love
have.
To.
We'd love to, but I don't think we have anything in the
We don't have any plans.
Yeah.
We had to make Turiel. Because we're not working with anybody who has an ASMR. And like, as far as I'm aware, there are no major player Azamar characters in any of the novel series or anything, really. I'm not an expert on the novels. Like, somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but there just aren't a lot of Azamar. So we would have to make them. And the finding space for us to make champions is an infrequent thing. Kenku champion when? Oh man, I hope soon. I love Kenku. I was trying to push for the Kenku monk that's in Jim Zub's recent book, because he got the opportunity to make some more canonical characters for his mini books. Well, I'm trying to think of what to call them. They're smaller books, but like, I guess they're like youth focused books.
Yeah, they're like the youth adventurers guides.
Yeah,
I want to say.
Anyways, there's a Kenku monk in there that I was pushing to have.
That's fun.
And sure enough, people are like, "What about Yasha from Critical Role?" Yasha being a fallen Azmar. Unlikely to happen. We would, given the opportunity, we'd love to work with Critical Role on adapting characters from the Mighty Nine or Vox Machina into the game, but they're busy. It's something that's unlikely to be in the cards. Yeah.
So we've got a question from
cross our fingers.
Argentursa. Is the Birdsong skin still free? Finally got Idle Champions onto their Switch. Unfortunately, Birdsong Barovian Witch skin is not available on Switch, just because it would be such a limited window.
Yeah, because that ended today.
That ended today at 10 in the morning.
A couple hours ago. Yeah. So we opted to not have it available on Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's some questions also for the hidden combo, and if I'll hint on that, and I'll say maybe a little birdie will tell you.
I haven't even looked at that. I'm gonna scroll up. What'd you make for your codes? Bum, 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 bum.
We'll see whether or not.
No. I mean, they'll find it or they won't, I guess.
Yeah.
They found the other one, right?
Yes.
Oh no, never mind. It's already there.
Yeah, like the one that's not secret. I don't want to start a riot by not providing a code up front. You don't show up empty-handed. Bring a code, or bottle of wine, I guess, to someone's house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lord Tithis is asking, what's a good source for the best formations? I would recommend our Discord. There's a formations channel in there, and lots of people who are happy to help you, and also our subreddit has a great amount of information as well from the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The interesting thing about formation advice is that it's so individualized, right? Like everybody's got different equipment, and like their loot RNG, what have you, is a little different. And so, yeah, it tends to what formations are the best for you tends to vary pretty wildly over the course of playing the game, until you've unlocked lots of characters
Mm.
and earned equipment for them and stuff. So, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
I mean, Minsk is amazing at first until you have enough favor to consistently get higher characters.
Yes.
But I guess
Yeah.
these days the question is like, who is the first unlock? I'll put that to
Yeah.
Garwar or Mars in chat. Like, if you're starting from scratch, which event champion do you get with your first 6 time gate pieces?
Carl.
Krull? You think Krull?
That's Garwar
Yeah.
agrees with me.
Yeah, fair enough. No,
Yeah,
everybody's putting it.
Yeah.
One player says Shandy. Shandy's a good choice too. That speeds things up a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, I would think that like speed champions might be the way to go right off the get go. Like, Briv is great, Shandy's great. Krull is just good for pushing your wall, which is, I mean, I guess that's helpful. Killing more things. Whoa.
Chat's on the right track for the secret code.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, they'll get it.
They'll get it.
They're on the
They're on the right track. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of funny to like sometimes I'll watch Garwar's streams where he tries to figure out a hidden code from the 2020 and it's like, oh, that was close, but I can't say that. And I'm like,
yeah. When was the last time I gave a hint on it? Actually, probably not since before my paternity leave. Let me just. I'm gonna go double check the Reddit and see where we're at for hidden combinations.
they've only
How many? Like, is there like 6 or 7 left?
not even. I was thinking like we're at 5 or 6 left. Yeah, and the
There are 7 left,
excited waving was because Justin
and
popped into the office.
and the last one on the list, they haven't even. They're not
know.
even close. Not
No.
even close.
No, but yeah, I gave a.
They didn't
Oh,
get the
here.
Binwin one. That's surprising. I would have thought for sure they would have got the Binwin one by now. Huh. Let's see. Melania, Warden, Rosie, Korth, Quent.
Yeah,
Oh.
there you go. Definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, right here they have it as 10 and 30, but it's actually 9 and 31. Anyways, that's the only hint I'm going to give.
Well, yeah, and then I gave a hint last time, and it hasn't been solved yet. I don't think so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, supposed to the week before where I gave a hint, and then it was found in a matter of hours, which just happens sometimes.
It's tricky.
It's fun.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's tricky.
and Garwar now wants another hint. I think the hint was some champions are so friendly that they need to have social distancing built in.
Okay, well, I know what that is and how that fits in. That's funny. They'll figure out how clever you are once they figure that one out.
So I don't know. There are different like realms of hints. Some of them are like, okay, yeah. They think it's for a smelly champion, which wasn't really what I was going for. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So, what concert or such are you like? Would you be most excited to go and see, like when we're allowed to do that again?
I'm sorry, I missed half that question because I was trying to read up on something.
Okay. When we're allowed into the ocean to gather in large numbers again, which concert are you most excited to see? Or
Oh man, that's tough. Oh God, there's many. There's a number of artists that I haven't seen live that I would really love to. Like Massive Attack. I've never seen one of their shows, and apparently they're incredible. And I mean, I already love their music, so that's good. Yeah, who would I want to see the most right now? If Nine Inch Nails was touring, I will always go see them because they put on one of the best live shows on the planet, and they're just amazing, amazing live performers. On a different note, actually, just thinking about like artists I'd like to see perform, no matter what the size of the venue. I'd really like to see Florence and the Machine.
Oh yes, if she goes to Vancouver, let's road trip over. Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely.
She came a few years ago for the free concert in the park type thing.
Oh, okay.
And that was like probably just after her first album before the second one came out. And like I thought about it, but like I'm like, I can't really make this work, and I just didn't think about it. And then like I don't think she's been back since.
No,
but I would love to see Florence and the Machine live because
I unfortunately
she's got a killer voice.
I missed her concert in Munich last March because I was actually in Victoria at the time, and I was like, no. But,
of course.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Sasha loves Florence too, so like, as soon as she hits Vancouver, it's half of C&E is going to be like, I need the day off.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah. If you like Nine Inch Nails, get to a Rammstein concert. I'm not as much of a fan of Rammstein as Nin. I like some of their stuff. Their vocals are pretty freaking crude a lot of the time, and like they put on a good show, I guess, but I've never desired going to a rock show where like somebody's gonna spray fake ejaculate on me, which is something that they have done, which is not coincidentally why I have also not seen Guar, because like if you're not expecting to get covered head to toe in fluid, don't go to a Guar show. Yeah. But I've watched live footage of Rammstein concerts, and they look like they put on a good show. If that's for you, 2 cellos. That's a different ballpark. I would love to see them. Yeah.
Yeah. But no. Oh, and we have a question from a new user about what we're referring to when we say you hit a wall, and that's when you're no longer killing enemies easily.
Yeah. I mean, your wall is where you stop making progress, where your characters go and they all wipe and they go back. Like that's kind of the wall. But like really, it's anywhere where your progress starts slowing down so much that it would be more productive with your time to complete the adventure, to reset, get the favor, and try again in some other way with more favor. Which is kind of like that's the loop until you have enough favor to purchase all the blessings and purchase all the character upgrades, and yeah,
that's great. But no, I really hope that Florence and the Machine comes to this coast soon.
Oh yeah,
it'd be awesome.
I would go see her in Seattle.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of shows in Seattle. I used to just hop on the Clipper and go over see a show, crash in a hospital overnight, take an early ferry back. But these days, I think I would just stay somewhere nice and stay for another day or two and then come back. Because crashing in a hospital kind of sucks. But
there's a time and a place for it.
Yeah. It was one thing when I was traveling and stuff. It's another thing when I'm like, I like sleeping comfortably.
No, I'm lucky enough that I have friends in the Seattle area that would let me crash. So.
Yeah. I have family in Seattle, but they don't live very close to downtown. So. Yeah. But anyways, lots of good shows there.
Lots of good shows.
Alrighty. What else we got?
We are running. They're wondering about the social distance hint. Is that Morgaine?
What's that about Morgaine?
If the secret hint combination was for Morgaine. But
no. Players keep us. So I'm pretty sure I've already said outright that one of the hidden combinations doesn't involve Morgaine.
No.
Players keep assuming that the champion that came after the last one on their list is Morgaine, but that's actually not the case.
That is not the case.
That's
not the case.
You know, So there's your hint part 2. All right, what else we got? Question me up.
Questions.
Don't make me go random. I'll talk about random stuff.
No, we're low on questions right now, so we can talk about random stuff.
Okay. I'm just gonna change my music that I can hear in my headphones.
Yeah. Okay. What are you gonna change to?
I am gonna change it to a really aggressive playlist that has a lot of really heavy music on it, and just leave it at that. There's
really like aggressive.
I don't know.
No?
So I wouldn't say aggressive, actually. It's got some Nine Inch Nails stuff on it. It's got some Ministry on it. So I guess some people might consider that aggressive.
Oh.
I don't know if I would. There's aggressive music is such a spectrum of music, right? Like, I say, I'm like, oh yeah, this Nine Inch Nails song is heavy, and then somebody who's a Slayer fan is like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
And they're right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have like this sort of like, I don't know, like instrumental industrial kind of playlist. It's got like some tracks from the Nine Inch Nails Ghosts albums, some tracks from some different movie soundtracks, like Khyber Pass, and a couple other songs from Rio Grande Blood by Ministry, which are just like, old Ministry or new Ministry. I guess this is in between because that album was the late 90s, I think. Rio Grande Blood. Let me check. When did Rio Grande Blood come out?
What did I listen to recently?
Oh no, that's 2006. No,
the more you know.
Yeah, newish, I guess.
Yeah. This morning I listened to a really good stream from Charlotte DeWitte, it's techno, but that was nice live stream this morning. That was pretty fun.
I'm pretty fascinated by people who are taking the opportunity, like artists who are not, because obviously they're not playing stadiums or whatever. They're taking the opportunity to just kind of put stuff out to their fans. But it's also it's a mixed blessing in that anybody who wants to do that, you're competing with the entire internet's worth of content. So it's like, I feel for artists who are already struggling to get out in front of audiences right now.
No, it's going to be...
You can't.
It's cutthroat.
Yeah.
Ooh, there is a question that I'm remembering that's still open. There's 2 questions that are still open from the Q&A.
Okay.
One of them I think you'll be able to answer. The other one is a Justin question, but the first one is, why do potions of specialization cost the same in patron currency as a patron chest?
Oh, that's interesting. That's a Justin question because he said all the pricing. I hadn't thought about it. So like, potions of specialization are an interesting thing in that for the longest time we had nothing like it. No. And so if somebody made a mistake in selecting a specialization on their run, the only way to fix it was to start over, which didn't feel very good.
No.
And so players just wanted like, hey, like we want a way to respec live. And we're like, okay, we'll make a potion of specialization. It'll have a low rarity, but it won't drop frequently.
But
so that, you'll have some way of doing it. And that was kind of like the fix.
That's also an interesting thing too, because their rarity is rated as uncommon, but they drop less than other uncommon potions.
They are the lowest rate of drop of an uncommon
potion. Yeah.
And so I can't really get into numbers on that because I have no idea what they are. Justin's the one who would know that.
Yeah.
But the idea was that, okay, like sometimes people make mistakes, but what people don't usually do is burn through a whole bunch of these trying out different builds really quickly on a run. And so we felt like it was kind of a safe medium in that you'll have some of these. They will help you on occasion, but for the most part, they'll kind of build up. Like I tend to have around 50 in my inventory at any given time. And like,
let's not talk about my hoarding tendencies.
Goes above and down. Cause like, I'll try out something. I'm like, I'm going to try this other build or I'm going to try Tyrell as a bear tank or whatever.
And then the other question is from Garwar that I'm pretty sure is also a Justin question, but he's been pretty busy this week. You might know. How is the Companions of the Hull Bounty of the Hull pool any different than just saying they overall increase gold find by that same percent?
Oh, that's a good one for Justin. Because
Individual,
I
go
don't
fine.
know if it's counted a different way or
Yeah.
if it's yeah. Yeah, I don't have the specifics on that kind of thing. So I'll have to wait and see what he says. Um, that's one of the biggest challenges has been for our Q&As just in general right now is that if it's not something that we already know, it is way harder for us to poke a dev and get an answer. Like, because normally when
Yeah.
we're in the office, I'd be like,
Like it's
"Hey,
just
Justin," like
Justin,
if I really needed to
Justin.
get his
Yeah.
attention, I'd just yell at him.
I'd be like,
But
here's a plate of cookies and a list of
yeah,
questions. List of
yeah,
questions first, plate of cookies. But
yeah.
yeah.
And then also like right now, as many people as permit based on their careers are working remotely.
Yeah.
Uh, and like part of maintaining your sanity when working remotely is like making sure that you get up, walk around, that you leave your desk, that you go outside, you go for walks, etc. Like, you need something, you need that break from work at home to
Yeah.
like sanity checks, walks.
Right.
And so, every day, most of our office does that at least once or two times per person. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if right now Justin's not even here.
Well, he was just in the office, so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah.
But I think he had some appointments, so I don't even think
Yeah.
he's available to poke for answers today.
And I think also it's like, and also we're saying, well, let me not hit the mic. We're a really small team, so it's like, I need to go bug Justin or maybe Chris. How about it?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if we answer what we can.
Yeah.
It's a lot more challenging right now. Yeah.
Liminal Shadow would like to know what's your favorite variant, Dylan?
My favorite variant?
Yes.
For the longest time, it was Durable Deep, because it just makes everything armored, and it's just such a slog. And I just loved how brutal it was, because it favored a different kind of building your formation. Because like at the time it came out, because Strix was and is once again a really powerful DPS, but like is terrible for variants like that because she hits in an AOE, but she hits once. And so it's like enemies will just kind of pile up because she has to hit them 4 times to kill them. And so it encouraged you to use a champion who's either attacking quickly or a champion like Binwin, who used to be that would just shred armor, just annihilated them. Like Binwin was amazing at killing bosses when he was first released, and like he can be now too, as long as you build around it. But building around it isn't fun with the current version of him. Like that's the real problem with it, as I see it. Like you can build that way to build a Binwin formation and get him to just chew through armored stuff, and but it's not fun and it doesn't feel worth it. So at some point we're gonna have to look at him again.
I like Arya Chicken.
Arya Chicken, is that the one with the ever increasing numbers of abyssal chickens?
No, it's one of the ones at the very beginning, I think. Unless I'm going crazy.
Okay.
Where some of them get replaced by chickens, and it's really frustrating, but also kind of fun.
Yeah, because my second favorite one is definitely the one where all the abyssal chickens show up in exponentially greater numbers as the adventure goes on, and eventually there's just huge swarms of them showing up. I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. I love that one. I forget what it's called.
Are we thinking of any balance changes to Zorbo or Krull? Not that.
So, like right now, we're comfortable that these two are our, I guess, S tier champions, as people like to list it. They're categorically the best at what they do, and we're kind of okay with it. We are reluctant to tune characters down because we know how nerfs feel. Like we play games too, and we know what it feels like when something that you love or that you use gets nerfed.
It's sad.
Yeah, it sucks. So, it's at the forefront of our mind, and like it may require further tuning. But in the event that it does, we'll offset that with other changes to the game.
Yeah.
I would like to see, because like Black Viper has a similar kind of prototype mechanic to what Zorbu does, in that she's
with
got these
red,
upgrades you get with red gems.
Red gems
but
versus
it caps at a point.
Yeah.
I would like to see like maybe we go back to Black Viper and we change that from capping in that way to being uncapped, that it just always works. Because I like the idea that you get rewarded for playing your favorite DPS a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And also, it's like I think on Black Viper that she's pretty top of the list for year 2 champ updates.
Yeah, I mean, she was one of the best. She was S tier at first.
Yeah.
And it's kind of since fallen off because there are just more competitive options. I think you could still complete probably most of the content in the game, if not all of it, using her if you wanted. But that it would be easier to do with other combinations right now, including Zorbu. So yeah. It's definitely something we think about.
Sugarman 19, is there just one base favor that all others eventually convert you to? There's a favor for each of our campaigns that are independent, and then the events have their favor, which forces you to convert before the next event.
Yeah, and we're not intending to ever consolidate our campaign favors into one. Each of the permanent campaigns has its own favor.
Definitely.
And strange, we're getting favor with Tiamat for our Avernus adventure. That's weird, right? Isn't Tiamat bad?
You want to bring that up with Archon and Kroll?
No, Archon's way bigger than I am.
Saying.
I mean, at least I thought he was big until I saw the big show in person. I'm like, actually, Archon's not that big. The big show is big. That guy's a true giant, legit actual giant. Yeah.
Dancing Penguins, you talked about how players sometimes do things you weren't expecting. I know a lot happens in D&D games as well. Do you have a story about a time where the party went off in an unexpected direction?
Oh God! I mean, that's every session, isn't it?
What I prepared, what the party goes for.
Here is the clearly marked yellow brick road to the objective that you are actively seeking, and they're like, "We're going to turn left into the wilderness here." It's like, fudge.
What's in this wilderness?
That's just players in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I've never been disappointed by what any of my players have done, because it's always been something that has been fun. When I think of most memorable out of left field thing, I think of that episode of Critical Role where Laura Bailey's Jester did modify memory in the most clutch way imaginable, utterly changing an episode of the show, just completely changing it. And I could see the admiration and frustration in Matt Mercer's face during that, where you just saw the look in his eyes you fool, that's so amazing, I hate you. He just had that look. People saying that she won D&D. I don't know that she won D&D, but that was legendary. I've never had anybody do that to me. But I know that I did that to a DM accidentally in our Tomb of Annihilation campaign, in that there's an encounter in the Tomb of Annihilation where you spend an entire level of the dungeon gating keys to open up a door.
Right.
It opens to a room with basically frictionless floors and nowhere to hide around the circular room, where you fight a beholder. And beholders are challenging at the best of times, but when there's nowhere for you to get out of its view, out of that anti-magic zone, you're kind of hooped. And we managed to direct its attention away from my character, who is a Death Domain cleric. The rogue, managed to get around behind the beholder, flank them, get a decent attack on them, do a ton of damage, and the beholder turned around and faced them, and I wasn't in the anti-magic aura, and I cast blindness on the beholder, and he failed his save. With huge bonuses, still failed to save, and I could just see the look on my DM's face where he's mad. He's like, I'm not going to let you blind the entire beholder, which would render it completely inert. Basically, he's like, you can have the mini eye stalks or the main eye. Which one do you want?
Reasonable.
Which is an okay compromise, but I was like, blindness, and he's like, fool.
Did you go for the main eye or the mini?
Went for the main eye because then we just nuked him with spells and killed him. Yeah. That anti-magic aura is powerful. It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. was funny. But my players haven't done anything that unexpected to me yet. I'm sure it'll happen.
Huh.
And I hope that I handle it well as a DM, because it's yeah. Sometimes they suggest things and you're like, technically you can do that, but it's really annoying.
You're like, all right. Yeah.
How about yourself?
I am currently running Strahd, and my current group is very much the type, like, we're playing it in Roll20 and we're revealing the map, and they're currently running around Barovia like, oh, what's over there? Oh, no, we're not going to go there yet. And it's like, are we just spending the first few sessions just revealing the map, and then we'll decide what to do? So, yeah,
little
that's
ADD.
been.
You gotta give them some urgency.
Yeah, I think I've hit that. They actually bid on the Wizard of the Vines, and also have managed to kidnap or hold hostage one of the druids that was there and dispatch the rest. So yeah, we're gonna see what they do.
So have you named the druid? You're like, my name's Ted. I've been doing this for like this many years, and like I'm here for the food. They feed me. I was starving in the woods before these guys. Like what route are you taking?
I was going for more like the fanatic, the feral fanatic. That's just like, no, yeah. I don't shower. This is my life.
Yeah. Do you go to do you have like go-to character archetypes you go to for this kind of thing? Like, did you have a character from a book or a movie or something in mind with it, or like how do you handle your NPCs?
I actually I read a lot, like how to play blank and blank from Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one. And then sometimes it'll just be pop culture, or like, yeah.
That's fair. I love doing pop culture because my aim when ripping stuff off is for it to not be immediately obvious what's been ripped off, so that when they do actually realize what it is, it's fun.
That's fair.
Like, we were talking about it earlier, and I was saying that like when I was playing yesterday, I was doing the Dragon Heist. They got attacked by two bounty hunters who were, one was a wereboar and one was a werebear, but they were Bebop and Rocksteady. And like they didn't catch on when I was like, "Oh, Bebop, these guys don't seem so tough." It's like one of their voices, and one of my players kind of like looked at me funny, but like ignored it. And it wasn't until the other one's like, "Oh, Rocksteady, help me!" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" They just lost it.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. That was fun. But I don't know. I like trying to make memorable stuff. Hopefully.
This particular druid is
should make him the dude from The Big Lebowski.
No, the instas, the like slightly aggressive protesters that are like
Victoria.
Yeah, the hippie ones that are like, you really want to tell me about this, but maybe you should also shower. Also know about it.
Yeah.
The like, no, I don't need anything that casts a shadow. And I'm like, okay. How can you possibly drink almond milk? And I'm like, okay, we're
making me think of that part on The Good Place where every time Chidi realizes he's in the bad place, he thinks it's because he drank almond milk in his life. He's like, oh, it's because I drank almond milk. It's so bad for the environment.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was such a good recurring joke. Yeah. That's great. I look forward to bugging you about it and hearing about it later.
But the thing is like in Victoria, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh no, I have friends who are those people.
Yeah.
We tend not to talk about that kind of stuff in person that much because it just they get under my skin. But they also they come from a meaning. They mean well.
Yeah.
Well, usually.
Yeah.
I do feel
Elfgrist started The Good Place because of us.
Oh, good.
Great.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, love that show.
How many episodes in are you?
Yeah.
Have you learned about Zhang Yi or whatever the monk's name yet?
John Lee?
Is that what his name is?
Oh.
I don't want to spoil anything if they're
Oh.
only like 2 episodes in.
Ah.
Because God, that was
So
funny.
good.
It was so
So funny.
Because that was like the week after Willow was born. I was sitting there, and I started the first season at like, God, I don't know. I took over from Catherine at like 10 p.m. or something. Or, no, 6 or 7 p.m. and she went to bed, and so I was holding the baby and watched the first season, and then passed off the baby and watched the second season the next night, and so on.
Getting the philosophy in young.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. Actually, one of my friends, Tiffany, she published a book of philosophy for children called Q is for Question.
Yeah. Oh, this might say something about my upbringing, but my parents required that I read Plato's Republic when I was about 11. So I had like I had my school reading list, and then the books I wanted to read, and then the list from my parents.
It's a pretty dense reading for an 11-year-old, or at least most 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I wasn't that smart, so my parents didn't challenge me that way. Yeah. Anyways, she did a children's book called Q is for Question that is already the first philosophy book that we have for her because I've already got it. Yeah.
Sismid13 is asking, recently there have been more bugs and glitches than normal. Should we be expecting a larger than normal update soon?
What can I say about that without getting in trouble? Yes, you are correct in that there has been a surprising abundance of bugs and glitches with recent updates. The only thing I can say about it is that we are trying to lay down the groundwork for some bigger updates later. So yeah, you're kind of right about that. I know that from a player perspective, it's probably like almost nothing in this game has changed, yet everything's broken. But it's we're trying to get some stuff ready for some bigger things down the road.
Some stuff coming soon.
Yeah.
Oh, ODS TV is the amount of patron currency earned when completing an adventure based on gold find.
No, it's static per adventure.
Static adventure. Cool. And Limino Shadow asks, what character do you wish got more use in formations?
Who do I wish got used more?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Warden.
Not showing your bias at all.
No. Let me challenge myself a little more. Who do I like that doesn't get used enough? I think champions that you have to build around, but that don't give you the best reward currently for it are kind of the ones that I wish we were able to use more. See people giving me suggestions in chat.
Delina DPS, definitely.
That is a very good example of one in that Delina is super hard to use well.
Yes.
And is almost impossible to use super well because so much of the game is designed on not having your DPS be at the very back. I think that... that's a good one. That's a really good one. I really like... Rosie is another good one. Like, I really, really like Rosie's design, and it's not worth it to build around Rosie. That's a good suggestion, too.
And Birdsong didn't really get a lot of work before her rework but now she's quite popular.
Because... we try to come up with these creative new ways of having a DPS and building a formation around them, but if it doesn't already fit with the way a lot of the supports work, it ends up not working. There are too many good supports who need the DPS to be in front of them for you to have a Delina formation that is top tier. Oh, excuse me. So... Yeah.
And people are asking about Modron Automation and the Great Modron March, which...
Oh. Yeah, I mean, intuitively, it would seem like that would be a good time for that to come out, right? Especially when we're just talking about laying the groundwork for bigger updates. We won't be releasing features that big with an event.
Yeah,
that's too much.
That's too much. It would have been really fun for the name, but no, that's not what's happening.
Yeah. No, we're gonna reveal our next champion tomorrow.
Yes. Very exciting.
First as a pancake.
Later
always. as a champion spotlight. Hopefully we get the spotlight out tomorrow.
I think so. I think it's prepped. We got the okay.
It's nearly complete. There's a couple key things missing that I might not be able to get yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know those things.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's the ones that we're always missing.
It's not the ones I can do, or else I would have done them. But
yeah, so at the very least, the next champion will be spoiled by a pancake tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, the event's next week. And there's hopefully 3 great champions to choose from for this year's event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Now, I've started doing like a fancy breakfast on Fridays with Griddle Champions. Have you been indulging in some brunch?
I do sometimes. What did I do for brunch? I made, I did like a kind of scrambled eggs and toast, except my toast was grilled cheeses with thinly sliced avocado, and my eggs had, what do they have in them? Bell pepper, green onion, shaved Parmesan, and some spices.
So definitely some fancy breakfast.
I mean, is it though? Like, I don't know. I guess when I picture fancy breakfast, I picture stuff like that Eggs Benedict I sent you, where it's like creamed leeks, prosciutto, and truffled hollandaise on your Benny. And like, that's putting some effort in. And that's, I never spend more than half an hour making breakfast. So
I think a lot of people spend closer to 5 minutes making breakfast.
I mean, if you have the time, you have the time. If you don't, you don't.
That's
I have 5 minutes, I make a smoothie. So.
And Elfgris is wondering if I use a different type of flour for my salty crepes versus my sweet crepes. I'm making crepes tomorrow.
Yeah.
But no, I actually just use all-purpose. But I do modify the batter when I switch from savory to sweet. Just add a little bit of sugar to the batter. So doing mushroom crepes with Gruyere, and then lemon and powdered sugar for the sweet ones.
Gruyere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gruyere is good. I'm actually pretty low on groceries. I should think about that.
Great adventure into the out?
No, actually, my mother-in-law has been picking up our groceries for us, just so that we don't have to risk getting our newborn daughter sick. And so we send her the list. She picks it up, drops it off on our porch, and yeah.
I'm having a time.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I guess, and when I say half an hour to make breakfast, I mean like that's prepping to eating.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a reasonable amount of time for fancy breakfast. I could make hollandaise from scratch, but I'm not a big fan of hollandaise.
What?
It's just too much butter for me.
What?
There was a time for a few years in my 20s when I had to make it for a living.
Okay.
And all the cliches that people in the hospitality industry say about how horrible doing brunches are to work are beyond accurate. It is hell. It is the worst.
I enjoy making hollandaise, but I've only had to make it for myself. Or my family.
One portion of hollandaise might be a little different, but when you're making like 10 liters of it for a brunch rush, because and like, not to put it all on the customers, but like the vast majority, everybody is very, very particular about how they like eggs.
Yes.
But very few people actually know how to communicate that and understand ordering it properly. And so when you're like, how would you like your poached eggs? And they say medium, because that's like the default.
Yeah.
They don't actually
know what that
medium.
means.
It's like it's, and
I like mine poached soft.
And people are just harder to deal with on that topic. Like, although 90% of the miscommunications and issues, actually 95% I ever saw in hospitality were around steak doneness and egg doneness.
Steak doneness and egg doneness?
And it's because most people say like medium rare or medium just as their default, but they don't actually know that what that is.
No.
So, yeah. I don't know. I like my eggs soft.
Do you like your eggs? Yep, push soft for me.
Yep. I want it to pop like a zit all over the rest of the food. And I just had to use the word zit there to make it sound awful.
That is a description. Why did you do that? That is a description.
To ruin it for everybody who's watching. But yeah, no.
Why? Why would you do such a
soft
thing?
eggs for sure. Runny yolk, the best.
Okay. Great One is asking, are the variants of campaigns harder in the sense that stats are changed? I.e., do mobs do more damage or do heroes do less damage? Even if those aren't part of the modifiers that are listed.
So those things don't change unless it says so as part of the modifier. The difficulty purely comes from there are more complications to whatever it is you need to accomplish. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, the difficulty rating for adventures is incorrect basically across the board because it's only based off favor, and that's it. Only favor. Doesn't take anything else into account. So, just so anybody is aware. I'm sure most players are aware, but yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not bleeding, that steak is overcooked. I actually like my steaks medium, but properly cooked medium. Like if it's in any way dry, then it's messed up and I don't want it. But people fail to realize that a properly cooked, well done steak is also not
terrible.
Dry.
Yeah.
No. I do think it's terrible because the texture has changed too much for it to be good in my mind. But you order a well done steak at most restaurants, it'll be dry, and it's awful. Yeah, it's not supposed to be. It just means that they tried to cook it too quick.
Oh, I remembered once I was in France and we went out to a restaurant. This was when I was 15. So I did an exchange there, and I completely forgot the words for steak doneness. It's like order it. I'm like, and chef's choice. And it was very rare, and it was very, very nice. But I was like, okay, I'm getting my steak however the chef wants to cook it, because I had just complete blank.
You could just say Chicago style.
No. This is like...
You're like, why did this burnt thing come out? And then you cut into it and it still bleeds because it's burnt on the outside to charcoal, and then on the inside it's still rare. Oh, God. Yeah.
And Empty Buddha is asking us, has Azaka's alt brokenness been discussed? Many things are broken. Many things have recently been fixed.
Yeah.
So we're on it. If it's still broken for you tomorrow, do you send us another ticket?
Yeah. I mean, that is the only thing that devs are working on right now is bug fixes, trying to get everything rolled out and packaged and launched over and over again.
Sean's saying it should be fixed as Azaka's alt, so that's great.
Also, honestly, thanks for bearing with us. I mean, people who've been around the game for a long time understand that sometimes updates goes out and things break. We never intended for them to break.
No, absolutely
generally not. Because we do test stuff. I know people don't think that we do, but we do test stuff before it goes out. And in the dev environment, it doesn't always break, but sometimes it does in the live environment because they're not quite the same. We're working on it.
And Dylan, what is Warden's favorite cheese? Asks Liminal Shadow.
Warden's favorite cheese?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that Warden
eats food of this plane.
Yeah.
Or of the Faerun's plane. Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably say some sort of blue cheese, even though Dylan doesn't like them. But because it's decaying.
Moldy. Moldy?
Yeah.
What is your favorite cheese?
Ooh. For a grilled cheese, it's Gruyere.
Yes, that's the right choice.
I'm
not showing my bias at all here.
Yeah, if I was gonna make a sandwich, I'd probably do something like brie and Granny Smith apple with some kind of honey ham or something. Probably be nice. Yeah.
I'd say grilled cheese Gruyere, or a mix of Gruyere and Emmentaler. And then I also really enjoy an old Parmesan.
Yeah.
Especially if you make Alfredo, but instead you take grated, like parm that you grate, not powdered parm, and you put it into you make a sauce with that instead of with cream. That's super delicious.
Well, that sounds good. It's reminding me, I was in an event, and they were making risotto in a giant wheel of Parmesan.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
And so it's just like I was just like watching it. I'm like, this is so decadent and wasteful. And like I have it, I'm like, this is delicious.
Yeah.
But like, oh my god.
Well, isn't there an Italian dish where they basically just like take like pasta fresh out of the pot and like roll it in a cheese and then serve it to you?
I'm sure there is. That sounds like an Italian thing to do,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. It's yeah. I actually
Yeah.
it's funny for pasta. I default to have you ever seen the movie Chef
Yes.
with Jon Favreau?
Yes.
So he like seduces Scarlett Johansson early in the movie with a pasta dish
With
that he makes.
the aglio e olio?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pasta in oil, basically.
No, it's garlic and oil, isn't it? Ali, because alio's
I don't know. I don't speak
garlic.
Italian.
Okay. Pretty sure it's garlic and oil.
That sounds right.
Okay.
But simple pastas like that
Yeah.
where you're
Aglio e olio. Yes, thank you.
a bare minimum
Yeah.
of ingredients, and just focusing on making it well.
Well,
And,
yeah.
and putting your heart and soul into making something simple, and it's so good. I love that. Provided you can get good pasta, or you're good at making pasta yourself, and your garlic's good, and your Italian parsley and everything else.
So good. Oh yeah, and I was describing a real thing. It's queso e pepe, is the cheese, and then it's just finished with black pepper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds decadent and delicious, but not something I can eat a lot of.
If you use older cheese, then there's less problems. Because I have the same problem as you do, but to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mild sensitivity, discomfort, not really anything else.
Yeah. Supply is asking you what D&D class will Warden's D&D character have?
Warden is a Hexblade Warlock. You know what? I can pull it. I'm going to link it in
Yeah.
chat, because I can link their sheet. Just need to get the link. Bum, 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 bum. My characters. God, I have so many characters. Alrighty, where are you? And this was based off of some Unearthed Arcana stuff too.
If Warden was to play D&D, what would Warden choose?
Oh, a Hexblade Warlock.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Where's my shareable link? Kick the coffee. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Warden character sheet.
Sheets. And have we considered setting the difficulty as don't know until we get around to fixing it? Cassius is asking about our.
That's a little cheeky.
Yeah.
No, because it still says like what the expected favor requirement is, which is better than having no difficulty rating at all. But yeah, I know it's on our list to eventually address, but gets shuffled further down the priorities list than a lot of other things, because we go with the biggest fires and most important features and stuff first. So
Fires.
it gets shuffled down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, bugs, fires.
Bugs.
Well, what's on fire?
Yep.
This is fine.
This is fine. Everything's fine. No, it's not. But no.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah. And I think I should wrap us up for the day, so that our lovely partners at D&D can switch over to the next show without a problem. So I'm going to do that.
What's our next show?
What's our next show? Our next show is Griddle Champions tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific with Sean and Lee Goldberg. Well, they will be.
Is there anything special happening during tomorrow's Griddle Champions? Is it perhaps
someone's
Papa Sean's 30th birthday Griddle Champions stream tomorrow?
Yeah. We'll see. Let's just put all of the pressure on Sean right now. All of the pressure on Sean.
Yeah. He's revealing the next champion. He's moving into a new decade. They're making pancakes.
He's now had reached the next level of hangovers, as he told us this morning.
Yeah. He'll upgrade. Oh God, that reminds me of a story that I can't tell on stream. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'll see you later. But anyway, that's our show for Thursday, May 7th, 2020. Thank you for joining us today and participating in the Idol Champions and Dungeons & Dragons communities. You were all awesome. The show exists because of a number of amazing people behind the scenes, including our co-producer Erica, as well as our partners at Dungeons and Dragons, Greg, Bart, Pelham, Allison, Charlene, and Lisa. Take care, champions, and see you tomorrow for Griddle Champions, and then in the afternoon for Garwer's Guide to Everything in Idol Champions.
Also, thank you, Sasha.
Extra thanks to Sasha.